That's not surprising.
No, not surprising. And today they'll be the favourites again because it's England. You know, when they play the likes of Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, England will always be the favourites because of the quality of the league, the Premier League, the quality of the players, the academy setup they have.
Call them Minos, not Minos after all, because you know you can't have a player in Gareth Bale and call his team Minos.
Well, I don't know. You can be because they had Ryan Giggs and they were minus then. So I think
had Mark Hughes.
they had Mark Hughes, but I think this group of midfield in defense, they have Ashley Williams, who has been a rock for years, seems to never get injured from the term minus today.
Okay. There's a bit of pressure on them because listen, this is the best Welsh team. They have those. Well, the three centre backs, and you also have their full backs who will come back and defend. So sometimes it'll be a back four, depending on which side England are attacking from. Okay. So as far as being organised, that won't be Wales' problem. England will find it difficult to break them down, but then going forward, Wales, as we already know,
well, I would say he was poor for the most part, especially on the offensive third of the game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're a better team than Scotland now. So right now, the Battle of Britain, this is what
it fits the bill.
With,
it fits the bill, yeah.
Okay.
They've sat back and waited for their chances, and it's very cruel to England after putting up so much of an effort in the first time. They have been the more industrious side, but ended up a goal behind.
Interesting. It came out of nothing. A long distance free kick.
No, I think we have to be fair because during that game, there were times when you couldn't even see Gareth Bale in the game. So I think as far as coming up, his contribution has been timely. But yeah, it was a moment of quality. But no, it came out of nothing because England have had the domination.
The first time I really saw Bale run with the ball was in the 41st minute, just before he got fouled there, and then later on Rooney lost possession and caused another foul outside the area. That's when he scored the free kick. So he has been dealt with quite well for about 40 minutes, and then he showed up for 5 minutes and he's got a goal. So that shows his quality and class.
The goal is the difference. Let's talk about it. It was a long shot, a terrible swerve on it though. Can we fault Joe Hart?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. When I first saw it, I thought the goalkeeper, you have to do better. If it was my goalkeeper, I'd be saying to him, you know, of course, because he would have had time to have seen the ball. But I think the way that it just dipped in the last minute meant that he
got it covered by from a distance. But the more it keeps coming to him. That's when it kept moving away from him.
Yeah, as the ball approached him, it dipped and then it kind of swerved towards his far hand. So, like Matar said, looking at it at first sight, you will fault Joe Hart, but then when you see the kind of movement that was on the ball, it's difficult.
What's been the English weakness in this game so far?
It's funny because they've had a lot of chances on set pieces, but I think looking at the contribution of the captain, Wayne Rooney, if you had said to me that the captain would play like this in 45 minutes of the biggest game in England's history at the moment, then you'd be saying, I'm sorry, you need a bit more from the captain. I think his most important contribution has been the foul on Robson-Kanu that gave the free kick for Bale to score the opening goal. I think in the second half we need to get a bit more from Wayne Rooney because looking at where he's playing, he should be behind the strikers, but he's not getting the ball. The ball is going out wide and he's having to drop and get the ball off the defenders, and his work rate is always there, so that's why he was there near the box to make the foul. But I think attacking-wise, we need a bit more from Wayne Rooney.
The entire English setup, bar in Ramsey playing for Wales, are really up to this task. I think they know what it is that they are facing in the English team. Excuse me. But Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane.
Yeah, non-existent almost. Harry Kane, I'm a bit disappointed on because of his build-up coming into this tournament, the year he's had, and his size and his age. You would think that he wants to make a mark on the world stage this tournament, but he has been anonymous. I think he still hasn't had a touch in the opponent's penalty area. I haven't seen it even in this game. So Sterling, on the other hand, he's been on a dip of form for almost a year, and even when he has been in form, his final ball has always been questionable. His finishing is also not for a 50 million pound rated player. So I am disappointed. I think Hodgson needs to make a bold changes and try to bring in the new guys. Like, you have quality in storage, you have the Vardy mania going on, and you know he works hard. And I think he has to make this change in order to give his side a chance.
How bold could he be? Because we saw in Didier Deschamps in dropping his most influential player in Paul Pogba in day one, and then brought him back and saw a different player.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's too old-fashioned.
Yeah, I think sometimes because he gets labelled with that that he's old school and he's very cautious, but he always says, no, I'm very attacking. Listen, the England manager's job is one of the highest in world football.
Yes. It is the highest paid, though.
Is upwards of £3, £4, £5 million a year. He needs to earn every single pound right now in that halftime team talk, because there are glaring weaknesses in the England team, and there's crying out for a change. I think you can say he made a mistake by going with the same lineup. Because going with the same lineup is that there's nothing different. There's no spark. We'll see whether Hodgson lives by his billing, because he says that he's not cautious. Everybody says he is, but according to him, he's not. So let him prove.
Interesting to see. How to call it? Chris Coleman should be a happy coach at the moment.
Oh yes, he's prepared well. I'm sure his game plan was to exactly how things have panned out. Just let the English attack, and when we get our chances, we have our quality up front, and we'll see what happens. Didn't come out from open play though, but still, they got the lead, and they haven't been breached. The whole of first half, they haven't really been exposed. The keeper has been on point, so he has to be satisfied with the way things are.
Absolutely. I don't know what's happening in Cardiff at the moment. I wish we could have cameras in Cardiff City Centre.
No, they'll be enjoying themselves definitely,
big time.
because because with Wales, because they're known as a rugby nation. They've had a lot of success in rugby. So for football to come up, whenever they have strike a football conversation, everybody says, keep quiet, you people are rugby players. So for them to have their moment in football, trust me, they would have celebrated like crazy.
I bet, yeah.
Rightly so.
This tournament is being built tournament for the minnows or debutants. We saw Iceland yesterday. I was listening to reports, and almost 10% of the population are right now in France.
Yes.
Can you imagine? You can almost feel a stadium
easily.
Yes. And Reykjavik is almost empty.
Yeah, I'm sure. Iceland have been a revelation for many, but as I said, they've been knocking on the door for a while since World Cup qualifiers, and they've always done well. They've missed out on a point or on a playoff or something like. So it's only right that they get to this point right now and make a statement, because this is their golden generation of football as well.
Interesting to see what's going to happen next in Lens, where England would definitely be digging a little bit deeper than they did to see what they can salvage from this game against their fellow neighbours in Wales. But just another first for Africell. Tonight we'll be broadcasting live. I'm most grateful for you and your support over the years for identifying yourself with this very house of GSM service providers, and we shall be doing our best, our utmost, to keep satisfying you on all fronts. Just keep sending your SMSs or blank or calls to 1010, and at the end of the day you might be calling here to collect a certain amount of money that could make a huge difference in whatever you want to do. Matar Mboj and Mojan are my eminent pundits here. It's England against Wales. What does Roy Hodgson need to do?
Where do you start? I think looking at it, there is a weakness on the Wales left-hand side. So England's right. Yeah, they seem to get quite a few crosses there, but there's not anybody on the other side attacking it. So they need to get more people inside the box when they're making the cross. I think maybe somebody next to Kane would help him, because Rooney's there, but Rooney wants to go everywhere. If you watch Kane at Tottenham, he has Ericsson, and they forge a good partnership. Wherever they are on the pitch, they look for each other. And I don't think Rooney and Vardy have that same sort of partnership. So maybe somebody alongside Kane, where they can time the runs and switch play. I think maybe that could be one avenue they could look at.
If England fails to get anything out of this game, the final game against Slovakia could be another big battle.
And Slovakia are no pushovers.
Are no pushovers.
Yes, Slovakia are no pushovers. They are a bit similar to Wales. They have a good defender in Skirtle, and they have some midfielders in Hamšík and the other guy. Excuse me. So they have game breakers, and they are solid as a team. So it seems like teams like that always give England a problem. They play better against the bigger teams that play open football, because they are a frantic side. The English, they like to run with the ball. They like to switch passes, and they don't keep the ball so long in the midfield because maybe they don't have those kind of players. But to lose this game and have to try to qualify against Slovakia is not something that they will want to have. No. They will want to have to go through.
And this game is not for Wales to lose.
Well, for them, it's comfortable now,
Yes.
I would say, because as we said before, at the start of the game, a draw is a good result for them. They will have. I don't think in the second half they will try to attack too much. Maybe they'll just sit deep and try to play on the counter-attack. So try and be organised and catch England, because they know England will come and attack. They know that England have to try to get at least a draw from this game. So Wales will be comfortable, cat and mouse, let them sit and wait and buy their time to attack.
In talking about this England team, this is one of the most youthful they would ever assemble. Promising and...
The biggest argument against youth always is that they don't have experience.
Yeah.
But when you have people like Rooney and Hart, they're not small boys. So they will compensate for people like Dele Alli and people like that, and Sterling, who are young players who are maybe having their first or second tournament. Yeah, Harry Kane as well, Eric Dyer as well. This is his first time in the spotlight. Walker and Rose, they've been
in and out.
They're experienced, but this is the first time they're established. Smalling is coming up. He's a leader at Manchester United. So you can always argue, it's youthful, but it's an experienced side. It's not like these players don't have Champions League, Premier League experience at some of the biggest clubs in the world as well.
True.
This is just like another Premiership game.
Yeah, I think maybe aside from Gareth Bale, none of the players, all of the players are playing in England, either the Premier League or the lower leagues.
The Championship.